Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucy.
Hi.
How are you doing on this Saturday? What's airing on? Whatever. We're not keeping the illusion up. It's a Saturday. It's being recorded Saturday night. It's Is there anything going on? Did the Olympics start yet?
I don't think the Olympics have started.
Why haven't the Olympics started?
I don't know.
I need to show that this is an American show. This Kump show. We need to get on board this year. No more of this like, oh, we're the bad guys. Like, oh, the atrocities, we did not. Columbus, he was a good guy. All right, he meant well. None of that crap. We have to be USA. This is a USA. This is an American show. Mm-hmm. All right.
You think we should get an American flag?
I wouldn't. Why? I can't see a reason why we wouldn't. I think people need to know that they need to feel good about this show and the fact that we support our girls in volleyball, our WNBA girls over there playing basketball. Are they doing that? Is that happening?
I'm not sure. Is there an American WNBA team? I thought there were a bunch of different.
Well, it's women's basketball, right?
Yeah.
But they have an Olympic thing, right? It's not just men.
I think so. Sure.
I hope so, because I'm watching this WNBA and I'm loving it. Caitlin Clark and the girl from the Liberty, who's better than her. People talk about Caitlin Clark. She got smoked by the Liberty. Does anyone know what this means? Is everyone tuning out already? Don't tune out. It's not a WNBA show. I just watched one of the game. Some of a game. It's fun. It's exciting.
Do you think the Liberty is the most American WNBA team?
I mean, it's the New York team. So 9/11, all that. Mm-hmm. Why not? I guess Ellis Island, Sbarro Pizza, all sorts of fun stuff. Times Square.
If we're gonna be patriots on this show,
yeah.
You know who we got to take a stand for?
Rudy Giuliani.
No, close.
Who?
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi keeps getting attacked. Well,
I heard he was attacked this week. He was walking in the streets of New York City and was attacked, much like Rick Moranis was. And they've caught the man, apparently. Today, I think it came out, they caught the man.
The police recognized the suspect, Clifton Williams, when they went to the scene of another dispute on Friday.
So this guy's just getting into all sorts of trouble. It's not just Buscemi, I guess. And so now justice will be served for the Buscemi family.
Well, I hope so, because this guy just keeps on he got hit by a bus at one point.
The guy who hit Buscemi?
No, Buscemi.
What do you mean hit by a bus? No, he got hit by a guy.
Well, no, but in years past.
In years past, he got hit by a bus?
Steve Buscemi.
When did he get hit by a bus?
Steve Buscemi has been assaulted multiple times.
Has he?
He's been.
You sure you're thinking of the movie Fargo?
Wood chippers, guns. You name it.
What happened? No, tell me this. I know he got hit this week. I know he was a firefighter, supposedly.
Was he actually a fire? I know he was like digging through the rubble on.
Well, it's because before he became a famous actor in the movie Reservoir Dogs or whatever. He was a firefighter in that place. He claims.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was actually a firefighter.
I can't vouch for it. I wasn't there. I don't know if he was. I mean. I think if he was lying, they would have found him out, right? If he just came by on September 12th and was like, "Hey, I used to," and they're busy with all whatever New York Fire Department was busy with at that day, the day after, and he's like, "Hey, you Steve Buscemi? I used to be a firefighter here. Oh, you did? You think I could ride the engine? Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're still you were trained on this stuff? Yeah, I was trained. And they just kind of went along with it? You think that is possible?
I mean, look, anything's possible.
You don't think they would have realized immediately if he was I mean, maybe he's an actor, so he's able to...
Maybe, at a certain point, he made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Like, hey, I'm going to raise awareness about what you guys are going through. So don't call me out for my stolen valor.
I think on that day, they didn't need it. That was a one day where they were like, we're good. You read the news? People love us right now. It's possible Buscemi was just trying to get on the glamour. I know they say he's like
glamour.
Yeah. Well, there was a certain glamour to being a firefighter. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't earned. I'm not making a case one way or the other. I'm not picking a side. Some people are pro firefighters, some are against. I'm just a newsman, right?
Middle of the road.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Buscemi, now I know they claim that he like didn't want the attention and didn't tell anyone he was doing it, but I know about it, right?
Sure.
How do I know?
I knew about it.
So I mean, why didn't you wear a mask? Why don't you wear a disguise?
I don't know if he should have to wear a disguise.
I think he should have.
While he's helping firefighters, just so that people don't know that he's doing a good deed.
It would have made me respect him so much more if I found out that, like, even though he was in the disguise, he had like a blonde wig, a long blonde hair wig, and like it was like old like 70s sunglasses. They're kind of tinted, you know.
Yeah.
That someone kind of put the picture side by side and was like, "That's Buscemi," and you're like, "Wow, he was actually hiding himself. what a great man." They didn't do that, you know. He had his Fargo Reservoir Dogs face just out there for everyone to see on the engine. He didn't. I'm not saying he called his publicist, but he just let it be known that I'm Buscemi, and this is what. And I'm a firefighter, and this, I'm so down with the sickness. That was a popular song back then, I think.
Well, look, he also, I'm just saying, he's been attacked multiple times. He got
hit by a bus?
At one point he got hit by a bus. At one point he got stabbed.
Getting hit by a bus doesn't seem very, like, that doesn't seem noble.
Well, I'm not saying it's noble. Like,
how do you get hit by a bus?
It's not noble to get punched in the face. It's not noble to get stabbed. It's just an assault on your person.
Right, but I mean, like, no one's going to blame you for, like, getting punched by a crazy man, right?
Right.
On the streets. But I mean, hit by a bus, I'm not saying anyone, you deserve it. Well, I mean, was it the bus from the movie Speed?
Are you saying it was a slip and fall?
I'm not saying that. I would never rat someone out like that.
Yeah.
But, live and let live. I'm just saying, was Sandra Bullock driving the bus?
Right.
You know? Was there a bomb on the bus? That's all I'm saying. I mean, or did you just not look outside the M&M store? You got hit. I'm just saying. You're a New Yorker from all your life. You know what buses are. What is this?
You're going hard after.
I'm not going hard. I'm just saying, why does everyone know?
You're trying to destroy his credibility.
I'm not destroying anything. The guy's doing fine without me. I would love to meet the guy and tell him I love his work. I'd be like, oh, you were the best. You were the best in the movie where you're a bellhop. Right? That was a great movie. He played a bellhop in the movie.
When did he play a bellhop?
4 Rooms or something, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a great movie.
Well, that's Tim Roth. He was a bellhop in some... Oh, no, it was Barton Fink, wasn't it?
He was in Barton Fink?
He was the bellhop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know. What do you want me to do? Say you were great in The Godfather? He wasn't in it. I can't tell about how much I loved him in, like, Avengers Endgame.
And you can't say what everybody else. You can't bring yourself to say I loved you in Fargo because that's what everybody else says.
I'm sorry that I'm not just I'm sorry that I didn't go to Yale. I'm sorry I'm not the man with the house in Levittown and the 2-car garage. I'm sorry I'm not a GI. Do you want to get divorced? I'm sorry. So what happens? And then you got freaking what else happened to this guy?
You know what a unique compliment would be if you told him you liked that movie that he directed, the one where he
Trees Lounge.
Where he
did. I love that movie where you wrote yourself. I think you wrote it too, right? Where you wrote yourself dating your stepdaughter or whatever it was. The young underage neighbor girl. I mean, I think
loved all that sexual tension with that child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that makes him a bad guy. I mean, he wrote a complicated film, but I mean, I think he might take it the wrong way if I brought it up at a bar while he's getting stabbed by Vince Vaughn or whatever. Would you say? You told me something happened at a bar?
I think he got stabbed defending Vince Vaughn.
I love Vince Vaughn's great.
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn's a great American treasure. So is Buscemi. But I mean, if Vince Vaughn got attacked in the streets of New York, I would go become a guardian angel in New York. No one messes with Vince Vaughn on my watch. Mm-hmm. That guy was so good in Made, that movie Made. I love it.
Fred Claus.
Fred Claus is actually like an amazing film. I mean, it's the best Christmas movie ever. I mean, Giamatti plays Santa in that movie. It's amazing. It's a revelation. What else do I like him in? Tons of stuff. He's so good. And Buscemi's also not bad. But so he got. Why did Vince Vaughn stab him?
Well, no, him and Vince Vaughn were on the same side of this knife fight.
Oh, okay. They were stabbing people in New York? I mean, I still love them. I wouldn't bring it up. I'm not a rat, but I mean, well, why were they doing this?
They were somebody's girlfriend. Somebody's hula girlfriend started hitting on Vince Vaughn in front of her boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because she thought that would be a sexy thing to do, and the boyfriend didn't take kindly to it.
Sure.
So he
stabbed Vince Vaughn, but then Buscemi got his face in the middle of it. Wow. Wow.
And they all got into a brawl.
Imagine being so enraged at Vince Vaughn and you start and like Buscemi just moves his head and like, yeah, like a bug, and you stab him in the head. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry, Mr. Buscemi. He's like, ah, what happened? I mean, it's just tragic. I'm sorry. This is not like the bus thing. The bus thing, I'm like, what, bro? Come on. Yeah. This is actually sad. Like he didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve the bus either. But I'm saying that's not right. But I mean, it must have been a shock to the guy when he thought he was getting a piece of Vince Vaughn, and he just brought down Buscemi. You think he just fucking screamed? Like he made like a. I'm not saying he's a bug. He makes a bug sound. It'd be hilarious. I mean, stabbings are never funny.
No, at least not in the moment.
I've seen the victims of stabbing. It's not great. It's nothing to laugh about. It's actually brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're talking about it like this.
Wait, but you've seen the
Rest in peace, Buscemi.
You've seen the dead victims of stabbing.
Rest in peace, Buscemi. You're a great American hero. Remember to like and subscribe to Kump, because we're at risk of not being embraced the same way America embraces Steve Buscemi. We're American heroes in our own right. I mean, is that right for me to say? No, but no one else is saying it. So I have to say it. I'd rather you guys say it in the comments. Comment and call me and Lucie American heroes. Does it matter if it's true? I mean, we're being patriotic. We told you we're going to get a flag. It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So if you like America, you like us. We'll get the flag. If why do we have to get, what's the rush? Are we speaking Russian? You can assume we're American. I guess other countries, but do I sound like I'm from some other English-speaking country? What is it, French New Guinea? Do they speak English? Probably speak French, right? Or New Guinea.
Or Spanish.
Yeah, who knows? Do I sound Australian? No, I'm American. What do you think? I'm on the side of Germany? Listen to me. I think it's the first time I ever said.
I'm thinking of French Guiana.
I think it's the first time I ever said, listen to me. Like, actually said it.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, subscribe, notification bell. That's the patriotic thing. Pretend it's the Liberty Bell. And every time you hit that bell, you go, oh, I love America, and Kump is on. Let's go check it out. It'll come up on your phone, and it'll say, hey, because otherwise it gets buried. Because we're not algorithm friendly, because we love America. I'm not sure Google loves America, but we do. But that doesn't show up in your algorithm. So you have to get the notification bell. It's down there on the bottom of the screen somewhere. There's a bell. Or maybe it's more. I don't know how YouTube works. We should get a little, like a diagram. Right?
Yeah. A diorama.
Not diorama. That's not going to help anybody. Also, we have a Patreon if you like Kump, you like more of this discourse, this patriotic discourse. You sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/RayCump. Get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. I think it's a pretty good deal. If you don't think it's a good deal, don't sign up. It's America. It's free. Choice. Patreon's not free, but choice. You have the freedom. Choose. Moving on. Hope Buscemi's. Should we really donate to his funeral or something? Or
I think he's alive. I
think he made enough money in his career. His family probably has, the money, right? To bury him.
I think there's probably funds for his burial.
They can bury the man.
Yeah. Now, to dig him up.
Steve Buscemi doesn't need me to bury him.
To dig him up again. There might not be a fund for that yet.
Dig him up again?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Just if anyone's interested in that, I don't.
We want to grave rob Steve Buscemi? What do you think? You think he's had a nice career?
Yeah.
I don't think he's being buried with jewels. He's not that kind of wealthy. He's not Robert Downey Jr. He's not Keanu Reeves. He's not being buried with goblets of gold and bedazzled, cups. The goblet of Christ.
But there might be some oddities in there.
Yeah, it might be like a tooth, like a hound's tooth, or a hound's tooth coat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could sell some. You could sell it for something. I don't know if I'm going to become a grave robber for like $800, or if I can sell Buscemi's like suit for. We strip him naked and sell the suit on eBay. And, hey, Buscemi was buried in a suit, and someone will give us $800. I'm sure, maybe $1,000. Is that worth it?
You make it.
Is that worth it to me to become a grave robber for $800? You
make it sound so crude when you make it all about money like that.
What are you doing it for? The love of the game? This is. Are you just grave robbing for you know, because you're about that life? What is this? Who would I marry? Well, how many bodies have you grave robbed?
No, I mean none.
Is it?
But it's not like, you know. It might come back into fashion.
Here's an interesting question.
You never know when things are cyclical.
When was it in fashion to grave rob?
It was very in fashion.
No, it happened more. I don't think it was ever in vogue. I don't think the fact that in the late 19th century, doctors would pay you for bodies, so you know people would dig, you know, for research. I don't think that was like, you know, on the cover of like Vanity Fair magazine, as a Harper's Monthly, right? Yes?
I mean, I don't know. I can't confirm
Harper's,
I can't confirm or deny that.
You think high society? You think Edith how do I say her name? Edith Wharton. Mm-hmm. You think she was like, oh, I have my own personal grave robber. You think like the what families like the who are those families? There's the Rockefellers, the Whartons. There's the Paul Warburg. You think Paul Warburg, like they had competition where they grave rob each other's like, you know, graves? Like Rockefeller would steal from Carnegie's grave.
I mean, it would be fun if that were the case.
Imagine, because they would kind of compete, right? Like, you know, John D. Rockefeller.
The more you describe it, doesn't it get more appealing the more you describe it?
Honestly, it would have been amazing, because John D. Rockefeller was like the OG Rockefeller. And then there was Andrew Carnegie was the steel man, right? And I think they had like, they weren't in competition per se, you know, because different industries, one's steel, one's oil. But they were kind of going, like, you know, I think who was the richest man kind of went back and forth for a while with them. Mm-hmm. So there's a healthy competition in that sense. And I mean, can you imagine if like Carnegie had John D. Rockefeller's skull over his fireplace? That would have been baller. And he's just showing people like Edith Wharton. And she's like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, you remember John D. Rockefeller? Yeah, of course. I had him last year at my bridge tournament. And he lost his skull. This is dead skull. That's some poor taste. Good old man, that's some poor taste. And his friend, his associate William Frick, is just shooting people in the lobby. Poor people. You know? Of the Frick Museum. You can go to the Frick Museum in New York City and the Rockefeller Museum. Their mansions are all like turning into museums. Mm. So I think they took the skull out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it would be great. Like, you know, a lot of the time, you know, a very wealthy person's house like that. Yeah. It becomes like an experience in and of itself to like take the tour when you're there. And I think seeing a skull along the way, you know, it would make it would be memorable. I mean,
imagine like who.
Honestly, it's better than seeing some like, you know, deer head up there or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be better. I don't know if it's more like less troubling. I think it's more. It's like, I don't know if it's the same degree of trouble. I'm not as troubled by the man who shoots a deer, because first of all, shooting a deer is legal, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying it's right, but it's legal, and people eat meat. And like, we've just kind of, even if you're a vegan, you kind of know that it's accepted that like people dominate animals. But I mean, a man who puts a human skull that he's like of his rival over his fireplace. That's gotta move you a little bit more. That's gotta move the needle. I mean, you can pretend to like chickens more, but I mean, than people. That's gotta say something.
It's more intense,
right?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. Maybe I'm just too patriotic to think that way. Moving on. Who would that be today? Would that be like if Musk and like
Musk and Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg stealing each other. I mean, what if they like at night? Imagine that could be a post-apocalypse. At night they just go in, they have like men come and try to steal each other's body parts while it's still alive. Mm-hmm. Like, guy just cuts off your arm.
Right, and it's ghoulish, but I imagine it's still being kind of a friendly competition.
Yeah, I mean,
like they'll like tweet jokes at each other about it, like, "Hi,
sure.
I got your toe,"
and they don't like it, but they have to pretend like it's all in good sport.
Yeah,
you know that's the future is awaiting us. That's the singularity, if you will. That's the Ray Kurzweil body positive movement, or what's his thing? The whole, he's the transhumanism.
Oh, is he the guy who coined that?
I mean, he's the biggest guy in it. He also made synthesizers.
Really?
Yeah, Kurzweil. I'm not sure how good they were. Kurzweil synths. I think they were digital synths. I'm not sure. I mean, they're probably decent.
What is trans? Do you know, like, it's the summary
it's the idea
what
that,
transhumanism is?
it's the idea that you'll put your brain into a computer and it'll go into a robot and you'll live forever, that kind of stuff, Or that, you'll enhance yourself with cybernetic implants. Mm-hmm. I'll have a pig's heart that's made out of metal, a robot pig heart. I'll live forever. Stuff like that. It's his whole thing used to be like, if you can live 50 more years, you can live forever. Because we're close. Now, I don't know if we're actually that close. I mean, soldiers are getting robot arms sometimes, if you're lucky. Veterans who get their arms blown off, sometimes they get. But I think that might only be if you promise to shoot more people. I'm not sure. Because I'm just saying, I hope not. But the military doesn't have the best record of helping veterans after the fact.
Right.
So I wonder, I hope it's not just like, we'll give you a new robot arm, but you have to, do some more missions.
Yeah, or at the very least,
nasty missions.
Some bad missions.
Yeah,
a lot of kids involved.
Yeah. Why kids? Just pay for the arm. Just doesn't feel right giving it to you otherwise. There needs to be some kind of balance to this.
Or at the very least, like it must be a
Patriots.
It must be a shitty experience of having to. They're probably constantly poking you and prodding you like.
Who?
Like you're
doctors?
You're their experiment now.
Oh, they definitely making Instagram videos with you and TikTok videos.
Yeah, where you got to dance next to the Boston Dynamics dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, look at this man. He couldn't even please his wife. Like, yeah, I could. It was my arm. now he's a real man again. It's like I was always a real. This is degrading.
I never thought of myself as not a real man.
I mean, I lost his arm. I saved 15 people. It's like, it's just some nerd doctor. Just saying, this man just wife thought he was nothing. Just a real piece of shit. He's like, dude, come on. I'm a hero. I don't like to say that, but I mean, look at him. Look at this hunk of rotted flesh that we've made whole again. Like, that's not cool. It was on Memorial Day of old days, or Veterans Day, because he's still alive, so you wouldn't care. Right. You think veterans who are still alive don't give a shit about Memorial Day? They probably had friends who died, so.
Right. Yeah. I think they generally do.
Kind of funny that. I mean, I like the idea of pitting living veterans against dead ones. There's only so much to go, almost like so much caring to go around. So you got I mean, I think it is what the military does. They kind of pit them against each other. Memorial Day is coming up. This episode's gonna. We'll have an episode on Memorial Day though, so we can save some of this for next week. Or not, I guess not Memorial Day. It'll be next Sunday. Right. Next Monday is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Keep this in mind when you're thinking about all of our fallen heroes. I jumped to patriotism by a week. Shit. I blew our wad. Moving on. Speaking of patriots.
Patriots?
Yes. Speaking of patriots. Mm-hmm. Robert Kennedy. Not the good one. The one's alive. Robert Jr.
Yeah. See, the good ones are always dead.
Only the good die with children. That's mean, I guess. But whatever. I mean, look, if he wasn't trying to rule the world or the country, then it'd be one thing. But I think whenever you try to rule the country and therefore be the most powerful guy in the world, you stop being a person per se, right? In the sense of I can't make fun of your dad even though because he's dead. Whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I'm not here asking for Sirhan to be let loose. Am I?
No.
I'm not saying.
No, but he is, right?
I don't know. Is he?
Wait, no.
Hinckley's loose.
That's right.
They let Reagan. They don't care about Reagan anymore. Reagan. Old Reagan doesn't have any kids like Robert Kennedy around to whine about it or complain. Anyway, he's back in the news. He's in the news for a lot of stuff. I don't know if people are excited about him. He claims to be a viable candidate of some sort. I've heard numbers ranging in the 10%, right? Mm-hmm. That Robert Kennedy is Robert Kennedy Jr. But it came out this week, I believe, that he is. He says he had a dead worm in his brain. So I don't know if those numbers are before or after that. I don't know if he. I mean, honestly, it makes me more curious to see if he could, because I mean, we have Biden. I mean, does Biden have a dead worm in his brain? He's never admitted to it. This guy, if he's admitting before he gets the job, to have a dead worm in his brain. Mm-hmm. What is the story here? It's intriguing. Let's see.
The presidential candidate has faced previously undisclosed health issues, including a parasite that he said ate part of his brain.
Not just like a parasite, but it didn't eat part of his liver, right? It ate part of his brain, the thing that makes you think.
Yeah.
It's a bold thing to admit to.
Maybe they were the parts of the brain, like that gray matter that we don't use.
Sure, but does he know that? I don't think anyone quite knows what part of the brain does what. They know certain things. They know, like, they shove, you know what they do? They take your skull off. I think you're asleep for that part. They use like a reciprocating saw, an orbital saw, I think it's called. The saw you use to take a cast off. They can use to take your head skull off. At least when you're dead. I think it's the same thing when you're alive. I've seen them do it in the morgue. But the point is, and then they get that they pop the cap off, and they can stick things in your brain, and you don't feel it because your brain has no nerve endings. You know that?
I had no idea. I guess it makes sense because the nerve endings are what connect the rest of your body.
But I feel like you still have nerve things that go to like loop back to the brain.
Oh yeah, I guess theoretically.
You could. Why not? I mean, whatever. Your head,
the point is, it does.
Your head is what smells, but you can still smell something's on your face. If you put a bunch of dog crap on your face, right? A little dog shit. Yeah, little dog shit mustache, you smell it. Oh, but your head's what smells. Yeah, but you can smell it. So I mean, I don't think
it's not your head that smells; it's your nose that smells.
No, it's below your nose.
Right.
Your nose smells, but your nose is in the head. I'm just saying, we think of the brain as one thing, but maybe it's maybe the brain's a bunch of things. Point is, I'm just saying it didn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
But it is because you can shove a knife into someone's brain and they won't feel it.
Right.
Which is very odd to me, but it's been true for years, forever, I guess. And what's my point here?
Should I read some of this?
Oh, they do. That's how they know what the parts of the brain sometimes do. Because they'll poke you and then you'll do this. Hello.
Oh, that's so humiliating.
Yeah.
That somebody can just puppet you like that.
I think they can. Yeah, they're figuring it out.
I would be so mad if someone puppeted me like that. They opened my brain and started puppeting me
it'd be the worst.
with different parts of my brain.
Don't make me do that. That's shameful. Not in public.
Can they be that exact?
Who
says they can't? I mean, maybe one day they will.
I mean, maybe that's how the guy's got this robot arm. The soldier,
Yeah.
That's what this is. The
brain. Man, do you think they make him jerk off with it?
I don't think they. Why would they do that? I mean, they have
because they have to be able to see how precise the motions can be.
Oh, like to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting. Yeah. Do you think? Yeah. I mean,
I don't think that's how you should treat a man who served in war. Just for the record.
I mean, I think he probably wants to sometimes.
Right, but he should be.
He probably says, so can I, and they're like, well, we don't know yet. I mean, if you want, we can try it out.
Yeah.
But, we can't guarantee anything. He's like, let's try it out. I mean, what am I doing here?
If it's voluntary, that's fine.
Yeah, I imagine he's like, he's down to give it a trial run. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he's like, it doesn't matter if he's married or not. He still only needs to, sometimes you just need to get stuff done. You have a busy day.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, let's, because I don't want to have to figure it out in the field. Let's do it in a controlled environment, Because when that itch comes, someone's got to scratch it. Mm-hmm. And then you come. What were we saying? Yeah, read this. Yeah, read this.
In 2010, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was experiencing memory loss and mental fogginess so severe that a friend grew concerned he might have a brain tumor.
Imagine being so foggy that your friend's like, bro, you have brain. Like, what's he forgetting? Like, I mean, your friend, you're like, wait, you're hanging out watching like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he's just like, what's my mom's, what's my name? I don't know. Like, what do you forget?
Maybe you forget. Yeah, maybe you forget your friend's name.
Maybe you forget to feed your kid. Maybe your kid burns itself. And your friend's like, you have a brain tumor, dude? Or you forget to bring you some beers.
Right.
And he's like, hey, you have a brain tumor. Anyway.
Mr. Kennedy said he consulted several of the country's top neurologists, many of whom had either treated or spoken to his uncle, Senator Edward M. Kennedy, before his death the previous year of brain cancer.
Oh, that's right. The Chappaquiddick guy. That guy is his uncle. The guy who abandoned that woman in Chappaquiddick in the car, remember? He crashed his car.
Wait, that wasn't Edward Kennedy.
Yeah, it was Ted Kennedy.
Oh, his name is Edward?
Yeah, same guy.
I don't know why I thought his full name was different.
It was Ted. Ted is Edward, yeah. Same guy. Yeah, it wasn't like 15 Kennedys. There was like 3 Kennedy brothers. I think. There was one that died too, I think, like before during the war or something.
What did I think the full name of Ted was?
Theodore?
Maybe Theodore, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure of this, yeah.
Several doctors noticed a dark spot on the younger Mr. Kennedy's brain scans and concluded that he had a tumor. He said Mr. Kennedy was immediately scheduled for a procedure at Duke University Medical Center by the same surgeon who had operated on his uncle.
Coach K? Well, probably not. Probably a doctor. While packing for the trip, he said he received a call from a doctor at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Quite a different. I thought he went to Duke. So there's some guy at a different hospital. Like, yeah. Fuck those guys at Duke. Get this. I think you got a brain. You got a parasite in your head. What? How'd you get my records? Don't worry about that. You got a worm in your head, bitch. The doctor believed that the abnormality seen in his scans was caused by a worm that got into by. I mean, what is the deal with because we're not in a position like this. We don't have like a ton of money, or really much to speak of at all. Nowhere near the amount of money you would need to go shopping doctors.
Right.
That's my point. Like, we're in a position that if we got brain cancer, we're lucky to get one doctor.
Yeah, we can't be too choosy.
Right, but this guy, he just go to 5 different doctors and then they have to like make up stuff to like get his business. Like, yo, how do you think you got? I think you got a dead worm, dude. Like, no, I think someone pissed in your brain. You know what I mean?
They all feel pressure to give a unique explanation.
Yeah, I think what happened is you were probably raped. Someone probably pissed me. I don't know. That's wrong. In the head. Whatever.
That got into my brain. This is a crazy. If you're not gonna say
go on,
it,
just read it. Yeah.
Okay, that'll have to live in our imaginations. But the doctor believed that the abnormality seen on his scans was caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died. That's a lot. How does a worm get into your brain?
Through your ass, through your eyes, through your ears. I mean, how would you get into someone's brain?
I would probably pick one of the nearby orifices, like the ear. Seems like it would be a good.
Sure.
A good, Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like in Star Trek 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Maybe the mouth.
Yeah, but maybe got in his ass. Maybe some guy. Maybe look. What if you were a guy who had sex in the back, in the ass, and it came in could you get worms from sex? Is my point.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a sex worm.
Yeah. Sperm kind of looks like a worm.
It does.
But they're tiny.
Maybe I can grow into a worm.
Yeah.
If something bad happens to
Look,
it.
I hope he's president. So I'm not sitting here trying to make him look bad. But it's just an odd story. I don't want people to accuse me of trying to bring down a great man's son.
Now an independent presidential candidate, the 70-year-old Mr. Kennedy has portrayed his athleticism and relative youth as an advantage over the 2 oldest people to ever seek the White House. President Biden, 81, and former President Donald J. Trump, 77.
He's doing a lot of people's podcasts. I would love him to do our podcast.
I would love that too.
Do you think this podcast we were doing now would ruin the chances of that?
Maybe.
I mean, look,
I'm just curious about it. I don't blame him for having a worm in his brain.
I have integrity, but like if you come on the pod, I'll delete this one. Because I mean that could boost our numbers, you know. I mean, he's one of these big podcasts. Yeah, we're lower. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Mm-hmm. You know, if one day in the future we have a ton of people listening and they listen to this, just know at this point we didn't have all these people. And going to the back catalog, this was the time we didn't have them, but Robert Kennedy in the future gave them to us when he came on to refute the fact that he got worms from the ass or whatever. His worm came out of his ass. I'm
saying it seems like there's a lot of parts of the brain that could get eaten. Yeah, and it might not be a big deal. Sure, but he's not saying that. He's not. I mean, that's the interesting point. And I think he's not saying no. This section, the sector 239 Alpha Romeo, whatever, you know, quadrant of my brain got eaten. He's just saying, yeah, it ate some shit. I have heard some shit don't matter in the brain. So I mean, you know, who knows? It might be nothing. Some shit that made me not remember something so important. Yeah, I mean, he's saying it in the context of I was so foggy that my friend thought I had a brain tumor. So, I mean, I don't know if he's really, I mean, it doesn't sound like he's saying he ate nothing. Ate something. Look, maybe they can. Does he remember what his kids' names are? Like, what did they get, the worm? The worm must have gotten something. You know? I mean, he used to be a lawyer. Maybe he got part of a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. Something useless to him now. You know, you're a lawyer. I imagine. I mean, I get it in the law. There's precedents you set, and like you can use your experience. But for a law, I mean, we all have jobs, and like probably most of the jobs we do in any given task, you know, you don't need that again. So he's like, oh, it deleted this fucking case from this file. You know, this stupid what was it, environmental lawyer? It deleted something about a bonsai tree. Whatever. Or maybe it got like some, essential memories about his ex-wife. Sure. You know, like an eternal sunshine worm. Oh, wow. Is that why he got divorced from her? Yeah, and maybe that led to the divorce. That's amazing. That's an amazing film that he should be in. Was this? I mean, why is he even admitting to this? How does he even when did he say this stuff? That's a good question. For decades, Mrs. Kennedy suffered from atrial fibrillation, a common heartbeat abnormality that increases the risk of stroke. Whatever. He's been hospitalized at least 4 times. Although in an interview with the Times this winter, he said he has not been an incident in more than a decade. All right, he has other problems. I'm here for the worm. Where'd the worm get? Scroll down more. Although at the same time he learned he had a parasite, he was also diagnosed with mercury poisoning. This guy's got a lot of problems. I mean, this guy. I mean, I get it. Sometimes people just are unlucky. You know, you want to be like, hey, just keep your head up and stop whining. But some people just seem to just get the brunt of fate. And I mean, Steve Buscemi, he's getting hit by buses. He's someone stabbing him. And Robert Kennedy is he got mercury poisoning, most likely from ingesting too much fish, containing the dangerous heavy metal. Yeah, I have cognitive problems. Clearly, he said in the 2012 deposition. I have short-term memory loss, and I have longer-term memory loss that affects me. In the interview with the Times. Wait, how much fish did he eat? I thought you had to eat a lot of fish to actually get proper mercury poisoning. Fish can be expensive, but if you're a man, the Kennedy family is very wealthy. Now, I don't know I'm not counting his money, Robert Kennedy Jr. My hands aren't in his pockets, but I mean the guy's rolling pretty fat, I think, so he can afford fish every day. Nice fish, But I think even nice fish can give you mercury. Mm-hmm. So he's eating sushi all the time, maybe. Off naked women. Who knows? I'm just speculating. Mm-hmm. I mean, what if you got really... What if Robert Kennedy... The Kennedy are known in general to be... Some people call them womanizers. I just call them, philanthropists. But whatever. They like women. What if, hypothetically, he got really into for a while... You know that thing you would see where men eat sushi off naked women? Sure. Doing that. That's his thing. That was just a everyday thing. Yeah. An indulgence. Yeah, I guess you get mercury poisoning that way. Yeah, I guess so. Sure.
I mean, he's not even eating half of it. She's just covered in ahi tuna.
Yeah, that's somehow if he has some of that same sex addiction, and somehow his orgasm got tied to that.
Oh wow, yeah, oh, then definitely he got sick of sushi, but I need to eat it to come. I gotta eat this spicy tuna roll, or else I'm not gonna be able to shoot a load.
That also contributed to the divorce.
Sure, yeah, he's doing it to his wife. I mean, I'm not saying.
She's like, just cheat. I don't want to be covered with sushi.
I think there's nothing more beautiful than two people growing old together, and then it's not just about the body. But you need to eat sushi of someone's body. They gotta be young and fit. They gotta be like 20, like a yoga instructor. You can't be having a middle-aged person eating sushi with their body. It's just not right. That's not the game. But he's making his wife do it. He can't consummate with her. Mm. I mean, it's just an idea.
Yeah.
Speculation. Please come on the show. I would love to have you on, Robert Kennedy. We'd love to have you on the Kump show. Just like you're on the other podcasts, which we won't name. But why only the big ones? Why not get someone on the ground floor and then we'll be, because there's other people, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. We'll lie for you. We'll say you didn't eat the sushi, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you actually didn't eat the sushi off the women's bodies. But even if you did, we'll say you didn't. That's what we could use the bump. Right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
We don't have integrity. What's this integrity crap? Anyway, in the interview at the time, he said he recovered from the memory loss and fogginess and had no after effects from the parasite, which he said not required treatment. Asked last week if any of Mr. Kennedy's health issues could compromise his fitness for the presidency. His spokeswoman for the campaign said that's a hilarious suggestion given the competition. Well, that's fair. I mean, he's got a strange voice because of his other health problems. Mm-hmm. But, he does seem to be able to think better or talk better than Biden.
Yeah.
Trump, I don't know. Trump does have a flair that, I wouldn't accuse him of having a brain worm. Not that. I mean, look. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best brain in history, but I don't think it's a brain. I don't think anything's eating his brain.
What he needs to be doing,
Adderall, maybe. What
he needs to be doing. This Stephanie Spear isn't doing a good job for him.
Yeah.
She needs to be spinning this like it's not only that it's not a problem, but that it's a positive.
Right.
Like she's got to be saying like, look, the worm ate all the racism out of his brain.
What was he racist before? I'm sorry, Ms. Spear. Just to clarify, when was he racist? Between what years?
Well, we all have something called unconscious bias, except Mr. Kennedy, because the worm has eaten that.
Oh, the worm ate his original sin of racism?
Yes.
So isn't that kind of like almost worse? Because he's trying to get like he can't even relate to like he's actually hurting the situation. I mean, does it help the people who claim that like, well, I'm the one. Look, we all have, because that is the party line, right? I'm not getting behind that per se. I think America's got a complicated history, but whatever. I'm here to tell you how racist you are or aren't. But some people want to do that. And I don't think they like the idea of someone going, look, we all have an unconscious racism except me. I'm the good one. I don't think they want that. But maybe.
Well, look, if that's the line if that's the way the Klan competition he's running against wants to spin it.
You're not helping by saying Klan.
That's fine.
You're doing all the things that a campaign spokesperson shouldn't be doing. Saying he was racist, mentioning the Klan right after. Scroll down a bit. What was this trial he was giving a deposition for? The campaign. Over the Brian. What was it? What was the deposition? On Wednesday afternoon, hours after this article was published, Mr. Kennedy posted a comment on his X profile. I offered to eat 5 more brain worms and still beat President Trump and President Biden in the debate. The post read, I feel confident in the result, even with a 6-worm handicap. It doesn't sound like he's taking seriously the idea that his brain was eaten by a worm. It does not give me confidence. I mean, I'm not the most, I don't think you have to be the smartest guy in the room to be the president. I mean, it would be nice, but I mean, given history, it doesn't seem like that's what the criteria has been. But for someone to, what?
I said, sure.
Yeah. I thought you were shushing me on my own show. But for that, but that being said, for a man to so blithely offer to eat brainworms, I mean, what if the brain worm gave him powers?
Sure. What if it gave him, like, what kind of powers?
Oh, wait, I just read. So wait, hold on. Some of Mr. Kennedy's health issues were revealed in the 2012 deposition, which he gave during divorce proceedings from his second wife, Mary Richardson Kennedy. At the time, Mr. Kennedy was arguing that his earning power had been diminished by his cognitive struggles. So he was saying, look, I can't pay this bitch that much money. I got a brain worm in my head. And they're like, what? Excuse me? A brain worm ate my brain. Start over? Like, I can't pay all this money that you say I owe her. And you say I made all this money in the past, but what you fail to realize is that a worm has recently eaten a large chunk of my brain. So going forward, I will not earn that much money. That seems to be the claim he was making, in his court proceeding about his divorce. Mm-hmm. Now, so if that's the case,
if he becomes president, he'll actually be able to. He might be able to pay the alimony.
That's a good point. If I'm that lawyer, I try to get like a appeal or something. You probably can't do that, right? I'd sue him. I'd sue him for readjustment. If it's not a thing, I'd make it up. Judge, what do you mean readjustment? Something I made up. But it makes sense. He claimed he couldn't pay because he had a brain worm, and now he's the president. What is this shit? Your Honor, come on, cut the shit. We all knew he was full of shit before, but now, I mean, do you think we all have brain worms eating our brains? We still don't know about it.
I mean, there might be more people with worms in their brains than we think.
I think I got 16 worms in my head right now. I'll be president soon, or never. See how this works out. Please come on the show.
Is this going to become a competition? Also, like, what kind of worms? Because there's no way that just some ground worm. If you ate it off the ground, there's no way that would make it into your head.
I don't think it's an earthworm. Is he claiming he ate an earthworm? Like out of the ground, like while he was like digging for carrots? I would
like some more specifics about what kinds of worms can invade your brain.
Sure.
So that I can stay away from them.
I want to eat them. Yeah. I guess some disability or something, right? Maybe they'll be able to park at the mall right in front.
Can you get... I wonder if you can get disability.
I'm sure you could if you say the brain ain't my medulla oblongata.
Even if it's not that bad, it sounds bad enough that you must get.
A worm ate my friggin' my rotary cuff controller in my brain. There's some part of my brain that controls my rotary cuff.
Yeah,
what are you going to say to that?
That sounds really bad.
Hey, Assistant District Attorney, what are you going to say to that?
I'm going
to file a lawsuit against the county. And what are you going to say? You're like the shitty ADA for the county. You're like, I don't know. I guess you have a doctor saying so? Sure, he's my doctor. Some scumbag. Yeah. You always find a scumbag doctor.
It's a scumbag.
You'll never not be able to find a scumbag doctor. There's so many guys who like went to med school and spent all this money and like now they can't make money because it's all fucked. There's plenty of them around, And there's the guys who like gamble too much. They'll always sign something. Brainworm. There you go. Mm-hmm. Next. Anyway, what's he gonna? He's gonna debate.
Well, he's saying that he should be able to debate. Are they going to let him debate?
I don't know. I don't think they should. I wouldn't. He's claiming he got a brainworm. If I'm Biden, I'm like, keep that guy out of here. He's like, he's going to bring up brainworms. And I'm like, do you have a brainworm? I'd be like, no. But I'm going to look bad. I'm Biden. I don't. I just have a stuttering thing. Imagine Biden stuttering to say no. I don't have a brainworm. It's awful. Keep him out of the debate. I mean, if you didn't start bringing brainworms up, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know why either of them want to debate. Apparently, they are going to have a couple of debates.
Well, I mean, you mean Trump and Biden.
Trump and Biden.
Yeah, well, yeah. RFK. He should have let the brainworms out of the equation. What's this I see about the New York PD? They're starting to use drones instead of helping people.
NYPD to start using drones as first responders on 911 calls.
They mean like, what are they going to do? Let's read this. Some drone with a gun like shows up when you have a heart attack. Drones will soon be accompanying cop. Oh, accompanying cop. I thought they were going to show up first.
Oh, okay.
Drones will soon be accompanying cops on 9/11 calls throughout the city. A new drone is first responder pilot program will be in effect in coming months. Begin with 4 NYPD police precincts and the Central Park precinct. The plan to be rolled out in the coming months is to deploy these drones in response to certain 911 calls for service. They wouldn't elaborate on what kind of calls. All right, but I mean, here's the problem. If it goes well, are they going to start doing it on their own? And you're like, and so when you call to be like, hey, there's some guy. I mean, what's that thing where the woman called the cops on the guy because he was looking at birds?
Oh yeah, like the Karen calls.
Yeah, but what was it like? The bladder? What do they call that thing in Central Park?
The
Willows, whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called. I don't know. Walkabout.
There's apparently in Central Park in New York City. There's a whole it's like Lord of the Rings, and there's all these different like kingdoms, and you can I've read raccoons there before, but that's all I've ever done. I've never gotten into like the nitty gritty where you like look at birds and you call cops on black guys.
You've what raccoons?
Fed raccoons.
Oh, fed. Okay.
We think I said blood.
No.
My blood raccoons. So I don't know. So what these drones? I mean, this drone. I mean, is this the first step towards RoboCop? I'd love a RoboCop.
I mean, I think those Boston Dynamic dogs were a much bigger step.
Yeah, why don't they send the dogs at least?
The drones. This almost sounds. Maybe I'm wrong, but this almost sounds like just a different version of a body cam.
Can a drone bring me an EpiPen or something?
That would be nice.
I mean, can a drone help you? Is my point. A drone can hurt you. I know a drone can like shoot you. It can fire a missile at you. Can a drone insert drugs into you? Gas. If you were a cop and you had a little drone, and you go, hey Lucy, welcome to the force. What do you want to be on your drone? You can either have a gun, or like you can pick anything. What do you want in there? Lipstick.
I mean, oh man, that's a great question. Maybe like maybe just like 3 more guns.
3 more guns.
Yeah.
You keep losing your gun.
Yeah. I get my gun taken away from me a lot.
You feel like you're the kind of cop who's just gonna get into a situation where a guy like does judo on you and takes your gun away.
People turn my own gun on me a lot of times. I go out there.
Yeah, I mean there's a problem because I think with women you have either that or they just shoot you right away.
Right.
There's no middle. I mean it's hard to get a middle ground with certain like smaller women, or even some men cops too sometimes. Because it's not like, it used to be like 6'5", flat foot Irish guy. I don't know who these flat feet guys were. These like Frankenstein monsters that used to be cops in the 50s. But people often bring them up and go, those guys used to never get their gun taken away because they were busy shooting at shop owners. But they were busy being on the take for the mafia or whatever. But, I guess they were bigger back in the day. Now we allow small people to be cops.
I'm just imagining like a...
So we have to give them robots now. We have to give them flying robots to help them out.
I'm just imagining the guy turning my gun on me.
Yeah.
Getting my gun and turning it on me. And I'm like, backup drone. Give me my drone. Give me my backup gun. And it drops a loaded gun on my hand and it goes off. But,
yeah. No, I mean, it probably would happen. I mean, I mean, in theory, maybe the cops shouldn't have guns and there should just be a drone with a gun. And the guy... There's one guy who really knows what he's doing at the precinct, who knows how, who controls the drone. So you're like, all right, I need the good cop now on the drone, and he knows when to shoot. He doesn't shoot too quick,
right?
And he shoots well. People say you can't shoot the gun out of someone's hand. He can do that. People will just say that. Oh, you live in a fantasy world. You can't just shoot the gun out of a criminal's hand. Maybe you can. Maybe Buffalo Bill could.
A couple of guys probably could.
Yeah, it's probably competitions where you do stuff like that. You shoot a can. What's the difference between shooting a can and shooting a gun out of someone's hand?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like show shooters.
Yeah, we hire show shooters and we put them in these drones. We have them control the drones, and they're just doing ricochet shots. They're shooting they're shooting the guy in like the elbow, and it jerks. It just grazes his elbow and it jerks his hand, and the cop can move in. This could be fun. You think that's gonna work out? Or you think it's just gonna kill people? Probably the second.
It probably is a little different under pressure.
But not if you're in a drone. There's no pressure. You're eating Twizzlers.
Yeah.
He's drinking root beer, eating Twizzlers, shooting people in the elbow. I mean, this guy's done it 1,000 times. You know, maybe that's what we need. Mm-hmm. We need to dehumanize police work by having these little robots. Let's see. Is there anything to support my claims in this article?
The plan to be rolled out in the coming months.
I just said.
Oh yeah.
Scroll down.
The roofs of the precinct station houses will be retrofitted to support 2 drone platforms.
It's not enough. Give me more.
While the drones will be departing and landing from the station house rooftop, the pilot would be in NYPD headquarters in Lower Manhattan and will be sending video and telemetry to cops in the field.
No, that doesn't sound right. There doesn't sound like enough drones to give everyone a gun. The drone needs the gun. Mm-hmm. The information. The NYPD currently has 85 drones. Multiply it by 10. 850 drones. That's what we need. Remote flyers are traditionally used to cover major events. There's Times New Year's Eve ball. No, who cares about that? Times Square protests, major police. No, put it at Sbarro's. Put it at pizza places. That's where you get drunk people. You know, mm-hmm. Put them outside bars so you can shoot the drunk. You know, so that's the problem. People who are drunk get into problems. And that you want situations where like people are getting rowdy and some hotshot drone shoots a guy in the chin and it jerks his head back and he lands in a pile of roses or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he grazes his chin. Drones used by the NYPD jump more than 400%. I don't think they're going to go in the right direction. I need to run for mayor of New York. If I'm the mayor of New York, do I control the cops? It doesn't seem like it. Why is that?
I mean, no, I don't think you do control the cops. The cops. I mean, I feel like the cops are kind of turning on the mayor pretty regularly.
I know, but shouldn't he run the cops? Kind of. I feel like they turn on him because he says like, you know, he says stuff and then they threaten to strike or whatever, or threaten not to enforce it. What if I just get in their side and I give them a lot of stuff? Like, if I give them a bunch of like new guns and like money, mm-hmm. Will they like can they vote to make me the head cop, and then I get my policies in place?
Well, look, you could be like de facto the head cop,
right?
You don't do, but you really need the official
Can the mayor
title.
carry a gun?
I think he can. Yeah.
I mean, I would. I mean, first of all, because the cops turn on you in a second, so why wouldn't you have a gun? They're always turning on the mayor. I mean, I would have a gun. I would have like a drone. I don't know. I feel like this city could use a lot of robots. You seem to be anti-robot. You seem to think that robots won't fix things. Look,
I just think that the robots, I don't know that they're as functional, that they have all the functionality you would like them to have.
What if they can drop gas in like a smoke bomb? they can fly into a building and drop a smoke bomb.
That would be good.
Yeah.
You know, in the right situation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, these things, like, you know, you blow a door off, they can fly through a window. Why doesn't it exist yet? I feel like we have the technology to do this. If this was Iraq, we'd be flying through every window, shooting people when we felt like it, using infrared, you know, cameras. But because it's New York City, we have to just, you know, pretend like it's the 1930s and we're just like, you know, cops are just, you know, using revolvers and drinking Skull.
I mean, there should be at least one drone that's a big claw. That can just get somebody.
I mean, one thing drones are like heavy. They have to fly. You think they could pick someone up?
Well, I mean, you know,
maybe
it's got to be invented.
Maybe it goes. Maybe it just scoops you up by the ass. Mm-hmm. It like drills something into your ass, and it kind of makes you like, and it goes like, hey, like this will do a lot of damage if you don't just stand still.
Yeah, like you might hate this, you might love this. Doesn't matter to me.
Well, I don't think anyone's gonna love it.
Yeah,
I don't think just because even if you enjoy things in your, I don't think that means you're like, oh, please have this police robot. I think the people who like things that are least likely to enjoy a police robot doing it to them. You know, let's get real. I think they're the most suspicious of the cops. Let's not like be facetious about this. They're not gonna be like, oh yeah, just go inside me. No, it's a police robot. You know, come on, have some self-preservation. Anyway, so hopefully this program goes well, and hopefully, what's his name, Robert Kennedy Jr. comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
I think he will. I think he might.
I think we'd be the fairest interview he's ever had.
I don't know if that's true, but we'd be the most interesting to other people. I don't think. I mean, fair? Is it fair? Okay. You're right. Because other people aren't fair because they're too nice to them. We'll bring up the worms or not. You're right. Why?
Do we know all the worms are gone?
Yeah. Can we do a worm scan on them in the podcast? Let's do that. Can we start here? Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to get our fans, our listeners, or the people who listen to Kump to go on at Robert Kennedy and just say, hey, take the Kump brain scan challenge. Scan for worms on the Kump show. They have a brain scanner, and we don't, but just say we do. What do you know? He's not a doctor, he's a lawyer. And we'll just we'll just use some kind of, we'll put a freaking thermometer up his ass. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I'll figure out something to put in his head.
Lots of anal solutions today.
Look, I mean, that's just, there's only so many ways to get inside the body. So what do you want me to tell you? But just, let him know that we're a source. We can make this go away. Maybe we can.
Maybe.
Thanks so much for listening to the show. We hope you enjoy it. We know you do because it's great. This is great. Don't forget, Patreon. Extra episode every week, $5 a month. You can sign up whenever you want. Check it out. Or if not, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.